Hello, 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 and what's this? A prog review on a Saturday, though you might not be watching this on a Saturday, but indeed, it's a prog review on a Saturday. The missus has taken the kids out around the shop, so I'm doing a guerrilla prog review to keep up with the schedule. And if you're not been paying attention, I'm on this neo prog odyssey, yes, and I'm on the outer reaches of the progosphere, whatever that's supposed to mean. And today, if you haven't read the title or description, I'm talking about, I've got to remember the name of it, Multi-Story East-West. Is that right? Yeah, Multi-Story East-West. Comes in a lovely textured sleeve. I don't know if you can see this. Look, I don't even get... Do you see that? Textured it is. Textured. East-West. East-West were a Welsh band, I think. There is a web page for them. It doesn't look like it's been updated since the late 90s. Yeah, and they made 2 albums, and this is their first album. This was released in 1985. We've got Paul Ford on vocals and guitars. Roger, looks like Roger Nasty, but it isn't. It's Roger Nazy on bass guitar. Rob Wilshire on keyboards and mellotron. There is mellotron. That's how you know it's prog. Remember, Andy Carney on lead guitar. It's very hard to read. They've done red print. Like, I don't think you can see that. Very bad. And Steve Byrne on drums. Now there's a load of thank yous there, but they've done green on a blue background, which is a design boo-boo. You never do that. Yeah, I've blown the prog review budget for the month on a load of obscure progressive rock records. The things I do for you. I could have been whoring it up with some Eastern European prostitute, but instead I'm buying this to keep you entertained. What can I say about them? I want to be nice, I really do. They're supposedly neo-prog, though the first 2 tracks kind of caught me off. They sounded more like rock, you know, pop rocks, the rocks that pop in your mouth. No, not that. They kind of it bites kind of pop rocky kind of stuff. Yeah, I will be doing an It Bites, I suppose. But yeah, the first 2 tracks didn't really sound particularly prog to me. But then after that, the band hit their stride, and the lead singer, what's his name, Paul Ford, suddenly, I doubt it's a shopping list. It just fell on the floor. Online shopping, you know. And you didn't even notice the join. The card was full. Of course it was. Darren didn't check because Darren is in a hurry before the kids come back. The lead singer, Paul Ford, on the third, from about the third track on, takes on the demeanour of John Anderson from Yes, that there Yes, and his vocals go all high. And I can see why. I did a bit of research, and people made comparisons between. They kind of called them a cross between Yes and Pink Floyd. Didn't really hear the Pink Floyd in this album, but there's plenty of Yes phrasings. There's plenty of there's mellotron and keyboard stuff. The guitar tones, the solos are absolutely very 80s. It's very 80s production. In places, you hear lots of different bits. There's bits where it sounds a little bit Marillion-ish. There's bits where it sounds like Yes. But I didn't really get the sense that it was particularly prog. You know, it wasn't particularly complicated. It was just there were these sounds that were being used, if that makes any sense. You know, the mellotron, then there's the syncopated drums, and you know, there were just stylistic bits. I didn't feel like they were actually pushing. You know, it was just like they were more of a stylistic fashion, borrowing from those bands. Oh, that sounds nice. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I don't know. Sometimes I don't think I do. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it becomes across as a bit dull. You know, it's a bit weak. And it's not that they're not bad players. These are very good players. In fact, the production and the playing is very, very tight. You know, much better than IQ's album that I did yesterday or whenever it was. Was it yesterday? the day before. I lose track of time so easy. But yeah, I mean, these guys are pretty tight. And again, this record sounds really, it sounds, like a really good 80s produced album. But alas, there's nothing in here to distinguish it from anyone else. This is why the likes of It Bites and Marillion fared better, because they had individual, an individuality about them, whereas this was just, it just seemed a little bit lacking. So yeah, I mean, interesting that they were making records that sounded like this, but you can see why people didn't really catch on, because there's no hits here. There's no pop sensibility of Marillion. There's nothing for people to grab onto, and unfortunately, it just comes over as a little bit weak, which is a shame, because you get the sense that as a band and as musicians, they're half decent. So yeah, like I said, they an interesting one to check out. Like I said, it's multi-story, east-west. I managed to track this one down. I found a website that had a host of obscure prog for sale, and thought I'd give them a go. But yeah, ultimately, not a gem. Not really not a hidden. Because I'm looking for a hidden gem. You see, will there be a hidden gem amongst these albums? That's really what I'm looking for. I know somebody said, how can you review neo prog when you don't like? Well, the thing is I might find something I like. I like Marillion, don't I? Oh, of course, you're still slagging me all off for the Fugazi review. Well, tough. Even the band acknowledges it's not a very strong record. Yeah, now I'm off track. So yeah, when it comes to review, I mean, it's a tough one. Because again, I don't really. Is it prog? My instincts say no, it's not prog. It's more rock. And it's a bit boring. It's boring rock. It's the rock I don't like. So, but I do like the textured sleeve. I'm going to give it a point for the textured sleeve, because it's lovely. It's almost like brow. I don't know if you can really pick it up on here. Probably not. But I love the textured sleeve. Oh, Darren, you can't give them a point for the textured sleeve. I can, and I will. So, as a rating, I'm going to give this 2 heroes out of 5. That's 2 heroes out of 5. Right, but one of those points is purely for the textured sleeve. The other point is because they are good. They are, it is a competent album. It's very competent, and it sounds good. But there's nothing there to lift it out of the unusual. But what it is good for is to hear a band trying to knock off Yes, because there are places when you think, is that John Anderson? That sounds a bit like John Anderson. I had that a couple of times, because I was kind of drifting away. You just drift away with the music, and part of me was thinking, maybe John Anderson recorded it. It isn't. It's Paul Ford. Yeah, I get his name right. Yeah. So it's interesting for that. So if you're a big Yes fan and you want to hear somebody that sounds a bit, I mean, he could be their next singer when the last one, when he craps out, they'll get Paul Ford to take over. On that revolving door that they have for Yes vocalists at the moment. I'm cheeky man. So yeah, that's 2 heroes out of 5. And I've got some more. I've got some more obscure stuff to get through. Anyway, thank you. My name's been Darren Locke, and we'll limp through this Neo Prog Odyssey together. Yes, we will. We will. And I've been blabbering on about Multi-Stories' first album, East West. And I really like the sleeve actually. I like spacey sleeves, don't you? I love it because they fake that, They never really. They don't. That's back of Asda car park. That is. Yeah. Of course, they went to the moon. Put your tinfoil hat on. Yeah, so that's it. Only one more thing to say, apart from Patreon, buy my albums, give me your money, and that is Prog on.